Good morning. I'm Jan. I live in New York City. I love helping people to save or keep more of their hard earned money. But today, there's a slightly different twist on what I would like help people to save. And it's not necessarily money. Back in a minute. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to a special edition of my show. This is the Saturday prior to Thanksgiving. And oftentimes, well, let's face it, most of us are facing the idea of indulging maybe just a little bit extra on food on Thanksgiving. Well, take heart. Some of us really, really want to partake, but some of us also want to keep our calories in check. Oops, if that's not for you, thank you so much for being here for even a minute. I appreciate you. But if you are truly interested in finding a couple of different ways to shave off some of those calories, there's been a book sitting in my bookcase since like forever ago. And it's called a Holiday Diet Cookbook. So I was coming across some of the stuff that I always encourage people to look around their own home or apartment to see if there's something that they forgot they owned and maybe get more value out of it. Well, this is one of them. So I said to myself, you know what, Jan, time to take the book out, dust it off the shelf, and read a couple of recipes for some people who just actually might be interested. Now, there are a couple of principles in the book. I'm going to get, as I call it, my teacher glasses. And the reason why I call them teacher glasses was because at one time I was an elementary school teacher, taught grades 3 and 6. And not only that, I could see a little better when I'm reading. All right, so I'm going to the beginning of the book because this is really like an important thing. And it defines like some of the ingredients. So if you have a few minutes, kick back, grab a cup of coffee and watch or listen or go about your day. You could just like listen in the background. If this is of value to you, that's great. This may be of value to someone else. So I encourage you to consider sharing this video with someone else who might be interested in this. Okay, so when they make some references in this book for certain ingredients, for example, if they say broth as part of the ingredients, broth, instead of canned soups, a good low sodium broth is made by simmering for about 40 minutes, 4 cups of cut up vegetables in 6 cups of water. You can use onion, carrot, celery, lettuce, turnip, parsley, and a bay leaf. You cool and you strain it. This is interesting to know. Cream cheese, encouraged to use the low-fat variety made from soy milk or tofu. Eggs, when it mentions eggs, you can use the powdered egg replacer product for baked goods, and it's still available in some health food stores according to the book, but this book is a little older, so that might have changed. I don't know. Fats for frying, when it mentions any type of fats, for example, use nonstick olive oil sprays or cook with nonstick pans and baking sheets. And this is interesting too for those ingredients that recipes might require mayonnaise. Here's a good swap out. Mayonnaise, reduced calorie, eggless mayonnaise is available. And I like this one the best. Or try some of the fat-free salad dressings. That is a good swap out. And nutritional yeast, use only the good tasting yellow flakes that are grown on a molasses base. And it's a good source of B vitamins. And then when it mentions salt, reduce the amount of salt in recipes by using herbs and spices for flavoring instead. And there's that product, the one that I like also, Mrs. Dash, or my favorite that I love to use. I'm telling you that garlic parsley has no salt in it. And I purchased that product quite by accident. I just had some eggs for breakfast because I'm recording super early in the morning. When I say super early, I'm talking about 5 minutes before 6 a.m. on this actual Saturday before Thanksgiving. Why am I recording so early? Well, a number of reasons. One, I get a lot of phone calls during the day, and they're all important, and I love everybody. but I do have to have time to record. So this seems to be the time that works for me. I want to make sure you get an uninterrupted show. Just saying, just saying. Now, getting back to swap outs for a second, sour cream. Use non-fat soy yogurt or low-calorie sour cream made from tofu. Or since this book is an older book, I like to use the non-fat Greek yogurt. You would never even know the difference between sour cream and the non-fat Greek yogurt. It is identical in texture. It is just so amazing. Soy sauce, you can reduce sodium by mixing half and half with water to make 2 bottles out of 1. So not only are you saving on the sodium, you actually like doubling the value. Like, who would have thunk? And I love the rule of half. You know that by now. Again, I mentioned soy yogurt can be used instead of dairy. And then when it comes to sugar, try to use less or substitute concentrated fruit juices like frozen unsweetened apple juice. And whipped topping, it says here, non-dairy toppings may contain tropical oil, so read the label. It is easy to make a tasting topping with tofu. Just saying. Now I'm going to cut to the chase and get right over to the recipes. You know, there is something I'm going to ask you to do in the interim. So don't go away, and I'll be back with some recipes. Back in a minute. I don't know why, but many times I forget to ask folks to consider subscribing to my channel. So back to this book, and this is, in case you just joined or you're walking by, the Holiday Diet Cookbook. Been hanging out on my bookshelf since like forever ago. And it actually, like, it even talks about the featured holidays of the year, the exact holidays of the year. Wow, this is really, really cool. All right, so let's head over to, I strongly suggest, if you're interested, to get a pen. Going over to page 15 in the book. And we're going to save some calories on what is called as dressing. Some people call it stuffing. People call it dressing. Whatever way you like to call it. By the way, if you think I don't have my coffee with me, you are very, very wrong. 15 cents. And I apologize because I forgot to put on my headset. Now you know it's super, super duper early. As long as you can hear me, right? And of course, outside noises. This is the city. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Okay, dressing. Get a pen. I love this. This dressing is flavorful and low in fat. And if bread is not dry, you could cut it into cubes and dry it out on a low oven. Whole wheat sourdough bread is excellent. These are just suggestions. Now, here's how you make it. 6 cups of day-old bread in 1/2-inch cubes. 2 cups of diced celery. 1 medium onion chopped small. 1 cup of broth. 2 tablespoons of minced parsley. 2 teaspoons of sage. Rub it in your hands. 1 teaspoon of thyme. And about 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. I cannot believe this. Ever since we changed the clock, turned it back, I turned on the bird clock. And it always seems to go off at the wrong moment. Boy, so much for uninterruptions at 6 a.m. Eastern. Unbelievable. Restaurant noises, bird clocks. This is real life. All right. Next. So if you took that down, combine the bread and the celery in a large bowl. Simmer the onion in the broth until tender. Pour the onion and the broth over the bread. Stir in the parsley and the seasonings. If desired, you can add 2 cups of sliced mushroom. Spray a 2-quart casserole dish with nonstick vegetable oil. Spoon dressing into dish. Cover lightly with foil and bake at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. If you like drier dressing, uncover the dish, the last 10 minutes of cooking. This will serve 8. This is only 55 calories for a half cup serving. Talk about guilt-free. I like that. Okay. I have a recipe for gravy. Are you ready? The secret of the good tasting low fat gravy is in a chef's trick. Oh, I like chef's tricks. How about you? Of toasting the flour and using flavorful vegetable broth for the liquid. For this, you're going to need 1/3 cup of unbleached flour, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2.5 cups of vegetable broth, a little bit of black pepper, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. Heat a heavy bottomed 2-quart saucepan. A cast iron skillet will also do. Place the flour in the pan and cook over medium-high heat for a few minutes, stirring until you can faintly smell the flour as it begins to slightly change in color. Be careful not to scorch it. Remove from heat and add the yeast and the oil, stir well, and add the broth. Return to heat and use a whisk to blend smoothly as it cooks and thickens. Add the pepper and the soy sauce to taste. This can be made ahead and reheated just before serving. Keep covered. Makes 2 cups of gravy. And 1/4 cup of the serving has only 30 calories. That sounds pretty guilt-free to me. I wasn't going to mention this recipe, but I am going to because it says here black-eyed peas. There may be some people who live in the southern region of the country who may be interested in this. This small tan-colored legume has 1 black eye and a mellow flavor. Soak 2 cups of rinsed black eyes overnight. Rinse, place with 8 cups of water in a 3-quart kettle. Add 2 or 3 cloves of garlic and a bay leaf to the cooking water. Bring to a boil, reduce the heat, and simmer until tender for about 50 minutes, 50 minutes. Drain, remove the bay leaf, season with a little salt and pepper. In the South, black-eyed peas are often served with a side dish of salsa. And guess what? A half cup serving is only 99 calories. I have another recipe. Another recipe. I told you to stick around. This is for steamed greens. While the black-eyed peas are simmering on top of the stove, you can steam some greens of your choice: collard, mustard, or turnip, kale, or fresh spinach. It is helpful in washing greens to use a large pan of slightly warm water. Rinse the greens and cook to desired degree of tenderness. Excellent served with a splash of balsamic vinegar, which has a unique woodsy flavor from being aged. Well, well, well. Now stick around because I'm going to give you a few more recipes, including Waldorf salad, fresh cranberry orange relish, and pineapple upside down cake. So I'm going to make up for lost time for all the times that I never asked anyone to do this. How's that for making up for lost time? All right, so we're going to continue on. Aren't these recipes really cool? I mean, they're so low in calories. This is a really excellent book. And I didn't want to leave anyone out who might be interested in this. Okay. Waldorf salad. Oh my goodness, this sounds so yum, 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 yum. Okay. So this is a crisp and crunchy and a traditional salad in many homes. Be sure to use high quality apples. Okay. It recommends 3 Granny Smith apples, diced, seeds removed. Honestly, personally, I'm okay with Granny Smith, but I'm really old fashioned. I love other apples too. Honey Crisp are nice, Macintosh apples, the golden yellow delicious. But it says Granny Smith, but leave it up to you. 1 cup of celery, diced, a quarter cup of raisins, optional, juice of 1 lemon, 1/4 cup of low cal eggless mayonnaise. Now remember the swap outs earlier. If you have like a low calorie dressing, that would do the trick. Okay. 1/4 cup of non fat yogurt. It says soy yogurt, but if you have just regular non fat yogurt, go for it. Because this book is a little bit older, so got to like update a couple of things here. Okay. 1/2 a teaspoon of celery seed, dash of celery salt if desired. Good combine the apples, the celery, and the raisins. You're going to mix the lemon juice with mayonnaise and yogurt. Combine all ingredients and mix well. Arrange a lettuce leaf on each salad plate and top with a scoop of the salad. This will make 8 servings, and it's only 112 calories per half cup serving. That sounds pretty generous to me. There's a lot of chewing going on. You feel like you've eaten something. This is good. Sounds good to me, right? There you go. All right, next. Oh my goodness. This one I know is going to be winner, low calorie Thanksgiving dinner. Fresh cranberry orange relish. Hello. This can be made quickly in a food processor. I love that idea. And is a marvelous accompaniment to the holiday feast. Make it the day before so that the flavors mingle. Okay, it's Saturday. Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. You might consider putting this together if you're interested on Wednesday. This is why I'm here on Saturday morning at this unearthly hour recording this. Hello. Well, I'm saying hello to myself, not to you. There you go. All right, so you're going to need 2 cups of fresh cranberries, 1 medium orange cut up, seeds removed, 1 medium red apple cored cut up, 1/4 to a third cup of sweetener of choice. That's where it gets interesting. Sweetener of choice. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of artificial sweeteners or artificial anything, but that's the way I think. If you could come up with a non-artificial way of doing it, find it. Even if it's with, like, let's say a little bit of powdered sugar, like maybe just a teaspoon of that. It's low in calories. I didn't say it's low in carbs, but it's low in calories. Actual sugar is actually low in calories. Excuse me. So what you're going to do is wash and drain the cranberries, removing any withered berries. Place in the food processor with the cutting blade, adding the cut up orange, apple, and sweetener. Whiz until pieces are coarsely chopped. Being careful not to puree. This is important. Whiz until pieces are coarsely chopped. Being careful not to puree. Taste to adjust the sweetness. It should be tart, but not bitter. Place in a covered jar and chill for several hours or overnight. 1 tablespoon has about 22 calories. I mean, can you live with that? Just 22 calories. I think so. And next, you're not even going to believe this, we're going to have a pineapple upside down cake. But before that, I just want to take a slight commercial break. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? Back in a second. All right, this commercial break involves the Steve Young 74 channel. I am on his show this afternoon on Saturday, the Saturday before Thanksgiving at 1:30. We talk about some random good chatting. Get over there. He'll have a premiere. I will be there with the help of goodness if you're watching this on this actual first day of uploading. And if you're watching this in the future, guess what? Just head on over to his channel. Just saying. All right, on to, can you imagine pineapple upside down cake? I know. lower calorie. Lower calorie. See, you can participate in the holidays. Yay! All right. So this is usually made with canned pineapple slices, but a fresh pineapple may be used. Many supermarkets now offer fresh ones already cored and peeled. I love how it's showing the dating of this book. Yes, yes, many supermarkets do that. Anyway, I love this book, so I'm not going to make fun of it. Lightly oil the bottom and the sides of a 6 by 10-inch pan. 6 by 10? Oh, well, it says 6 by 10. Okay. Combine in a saucepan a quarter cup of brown sugar, 1/3 cup of juice from pineapple, and 1 tablespoon of safflower oil. Anytime it comes like oils and you just need a tiny amount of it, and if you don't have that oil, just get your nonstick spray, give it a couple of shushes. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You don't go to the grocery store to buy one bottle of something you hardly ever in your life use. I'm just saying my suggestion, or just work with it with a little bit of another oil that you may have, because we're only talking about 1 tablespoon of safflower oil. Bring it to a boil, stirring. Remove from heat. Pour into baking dish. Slice the fresh pineapple into 8 slices, about a ½ inch thick. Cut slices in half and arrange in 2 rows on bottom of the pan. Stir together for the batter. So here's what the batter is going to be. 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. 1½ cups of unbleached flour. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. 2/3 cup of soy milk. 2 tablespoons of safflower oil. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Pardon me. Time for a sip of coffee. Did you get those ingredients? If not, just pull back the video and just replay it a little bit. Okay, you're going to spoon the batter evenly over the pineapple. You're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and you're going to bake the cake for 30 to 35 minutes. You're going to cool this in a pan for a few minutes. Run a knife around the edge. Place, it says platter, but means batter. It was the typo in the book. Hello. Place batter over pan and invert the cake, spooning out the sauce left in the pan. Cool, cut into 8 squares. There are approximately 220 calories in the 8 squares per serving. This is all livable. This is stuff, I'm going to give you some additional recipes. Some people prefer cornbread dressing on Thanksgiving. I didn't forget you. That's why I'm making this longer video for you at 6:15 in the morning on the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Just saying. All right. Cornbread dressing. Dressing can bake while the roast does for a traditional accompaniment. All right. That's what it says here. Here you go. Going to need 4 cups of dry crumbled cornbread. Going to need 2 cups of dry cubes whole wheat bread. 1 medium onion, finely chopped. 1 cup of celery, finely chopped. 2 cups of vegetable broth. 2 tablespoons of minced parsley. 1 teaspoon of thyme. 1 teaspoon of sage. 1 teaspoon of marjoram. 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Combine the cornbread and the dry bread. Simmer the onion and celery in the broth for about 10 minutes until tender. Mix the onion, broth, parsley, and seasonings with the bread. Spray a 2-quart baking dish with nonstick vegetable spray. Pile the dressing into dish. Bake at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. Add a little more broth if it seems too dry. This serves 8. 1/2 cup serving has only 110 calories. Even if you're not on a reduced calorie eating plan, this just sounds really better. It just sounds healthier. It just sounds like a cleaner taste to your food. Am I right or am I right? Let's get back to basics. All right, now here's another one called golden gravy. You may be interested in. This is a gravy that is nutritionally good for you, unlike the fat-laden kind that we all know. Combine in a saucepan 2 tablespoons of safflower oil, 1/4 cup of flour, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Cook these over low heat until bubbling. Whisk in 2 cups of vegetable broth, 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, and a dash of black pepper. Whisk occasionally as it thickens. Let it come to a bubble and simmer over low heat for 1 to 2 minutes and stirring occasionally. Taste and add a little salt if needed. Makes 2 cups. Get a load of this. Only 35 calories per 1/4 cup. Hello. 35 calories per 1/4 cup serving. And two more items. If you're still with me, thanks so much for continuing to be here. And of course, I'm going to take a little 1/2 second commercial break again. Told you, making up for lost time. I never asked for subscribers. That's wrong. I should. That's on me. So there. All right. So we have a couple more recipes to go. Mashed potatoes. Yep, there's actually a natural made lighter version of mashed potatoes. So try this light and fluffy version of an old-fashioned comfort food. 6 to 8 medium potatoes, water to cover, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of soy milk. Peel the potatoes and cut in half. Cover with water and boil until tender for about 20 minutes. Drain and save the cooking water. Keep the potatoes covered in and let stand for 2 minutes in a warm place to dry out. Mash them, adding the salt, milk, and about 1/4 cup of the cooking liquid, or just enough so that the potatoes remain moist and fluffy. Taste and add a little more salt and pepper if desired. You may wish to stir in 1 to 2 tablespoons of freeze-dried chives. Serve this hot. Serve 6 to 8 people at just about 120 calories per 1/2 cup. So natural, so less guilty. This is just good and considerate. And for now, and there are other holidays coming up, and I will be back with the book even for Christmas holiday lower calorie items. So last but not least for now, sweet potatoes with pineapple. Oh my gosh, the whole concept, the whole thought. First of all, I don't know about you, but I am truly a sweet potato lover. I love sweet potatoes in a can. I love fresh sweet potatoes. I love the yams. I love the sweet potato. It doesn't matter to me. It is just so comforting, so pretty, so autumnal, and most of all, so delicious. But it happens to be really good for you, and that makes it even better. All right, so sweet potatoes with pineapple, a match made in heaven, in my opinion. You can make this delicious dish the day before. Forget the calorie-loaded marshmallow grandma used. The pineapples add enough for sweetness. Don't get me wrong. Who doesn't love the marshmallows in there? Of course we do. We've been weaned on that, many of us. It's really, really good. But if you're serious about wanting to stay, maybe, I don't know, sort of like robbing Peter to pay Paul, let's say that you have less calories on some of these dishes, then you can indulge in something else that you really, really, really want, and you only have it once a year. It's sort of like saving money in a way, saving money in one area so that you could get something better that you really like in another area type thing. You can do the same thing with eating too. So here we're going to go. All you need is 6 medium large sweet potatoes or yams and a 7-ounce can of crushed pineapple unsweetened. So you're going to line a flat baking pan with foil and set the potatoes in the pan. Going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Scrub the potatoes, bake them until tender for about 45 minutes. Gonna let it cool, remove the flesh, and discard the skins. Spray a shallow baking dish with nonstick vegetable oil. Mash the potatoes until fluffy and pile into the dish. Spoon the pineapple over the potatoes. Cover and refrigerate until ready to bake. Bring this to room temperature, then uncover and heat in a 350 to 375-degree oven until hot, about 30 minutes. This will serve 6 to 8 people at only a mind-boggling only 128 calories per serving. Is this worth it, or is this worth it? Even if you're not on a specified eating plan, or you just want to shave down some of the calories, or you just want a more natural approach to some of your meals, I am really glad that you took the time to come here and to listen to some of these recipes. If you found value in this video, I cannot tell you how much I would appreciate your clicking on the like button. And also, I really believe all of us should do more like this lady does. Have an amazing, fantastic weekend before Thanksgiving or any day of the year. Have a great day. Bye-bye.